Welcome everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
We'd like to welcome you to another segment of SIT, Sisters in the Sandbox. And tonight we're going to be talking about feelings of being taken for granted. It's different aspects in which we can actually cover that. But basically, that's what we're actually going to be talking about, feelings of being taken for granted or what happens to the feelings behind being taken for granted. I'm putting my disclaimer out there as I always do. These are our views and our perspectives from our experiences. It doesn't mean that it's any different from what you guys might have experienced. Surely we welcome all feedback, good, bad, indifferent, ugly, or whatever may have you. Any insight and enlightenment in regards to the topics that we share. And basically, on tonight, as I stated, for those who just joining, welcome. We're talking about feelings of being taken for granted. And it's a broad, but yet a lot of us experienced it. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we get a lot of feedback on tonight. Hey guys. And so we're going to get it scooping up in the sandbox. Please don't hold any of our views against us or our opinions or our thoughts or our perspective. It's just from our experiences. Again, we welcome all feedback in regards to what you experience, in regards to whatever topic it is that we elaborate or expound on. So this was Sister's topic, so we're going to let her get it started.
Did you say something about the YouTube?
Oh, yes. Also, I forgot. I always do that. Also, know that you also can join on YouTube. Click on the link, Sisters in the Sandbox, and like, subscribe, share. So then that way we can get the fan base up. Again, it's Sisters in the Sandbox on YouTube as well. And all you got to do is click on the link, like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
So moving forward, let's get it scooping up in the sandbox with the sisters on the night.
Okay, so tonight is my segment, and I know that it's a broad topic, but I'm quite sure that everyone has been experienced or has experienced being taken for granted, whether it was in a relationship, whether if it was at work, whether if it was whether if it was family, whether it was at church. People have experienced being taken for granted. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person is weak. It doesn't mean that the person is gullible.
Naive.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to elaborate on everything don't mean you're naive, but go ahead.
Yes, but I will say this. Some people experience it more than others. I will say that. I think what it boils down to is when someone takes someone for granted, there's a giver and there's a taker, or should I say a giver and there's a receiver. And it all depends on how often that person is giving, how often that person, the giver is giving, and how
overly giving.
Yes, definitely. And how often the receiver is receiving. And some people are just givers. I mean, they're naturally givers. They want to give and they love to give, and that's good. But at the same time, people can be depleted. They have nothing else left to give.
Draining.
And that can be in a relationship. It definitely is draining.
It's draining. It's any type of relationship, really. Like I said,
it's frustrating.
It's ongoing. But then that's when you have to come to the realization of when to put a stop to that.
So being taken for granted. Yeah. Okay. So example of someone taking you for granted. Okay. Oh my God, I have so many. Where should I start?
Because it almost is the same as not being appreciated for that which you do.
It is.
And whatever that relationship you have, right, on your job, you have people who don't appreciate. You can give just as much as the next person. Hey guys, welcome everyone in. Hey sissy, how you? Ain't see you in a while. See you soon. But Daddy. Yes, I'll be seeing you soon, honey.
Okay.
But the thing is, not being appreciated for that which you contribute. Because a person, like on the job, there's like they make it seem like what you contribute to, whether it be on the job or the relationship or what you do for somebody in your family. And then some people use it against people. Like they feel that they're obligated to receive that or entitled to it.
Some would say obligated and some would say entitled. But however, I will say this. I have experienced it in every aspect. I experienced at church. I experienced it at work. I experienced it in a relationship, and I
Wait a minute. It said, what are y'all talking about today? Should I thank my co-workers? Maybe.
Andrew Wayne Butch Jones. You already know what I'm talking about. We didn't already had this conversation.
No, he was saying should he take his co-workers. But we're talking about being taken for granted.
He already. That's why he said.
And the different aspects and being taken for granted. And she was breaking down, just to like refresh or try to catch everybody up to speed. She's basically saying that you have your givers and your receivers, and it doesn't mean that you're gullible. It doesn't mean that you're naive. It's just that sometimes you got to get to a point in your life that, you know, if it's causing more physical, emotional harm, I would say, because it's draining.
It is draining
because it's like
after the period of time it can be like, very well draining.
It takes a toll on you,
and then
mentally,
you just have to be like, okay, enough is enough.
Physically, do
especially if it's that same person. If that same person continues to take and take and take, and you have no more to take, no more to give, yeah, definitely. I mean, taken for granted is just not a good feeling. And once you experience that, it's like you don't want to go through that again, because it makes you feel some type of way. And then you start having barriers or walls up because you don't like that feeling, so you don't want anybody. But
why do we feel that a lot of us put ourselves in positions where we give so much of ourselves that people pretty much expect it?
And then expect it.
Like sometimes you can do things that enable yourself because you put yourself in a position because they're expecting you, or that person is expecting that from you. They expect like that. Oh, she's going to go ahead and do it. She's not going to say nothing. I know I can keep going to her for this, that, or the other. Or I can.
Well, at some point in time, don't that mean you're a user?
Yeah, that's the whole point I'm trying to get to. So then it's like that is the realization you got to like come to.
You don't want to feel that you're being used.
No.
So that's my thing.
So how can you?
And Kyra said that's when it becomes enabling.
Exactly. Yes. Hey, boo. But that's the whole point that we're actually trying to get to, because I actually had to deal with that. Like, you have to come to the realization that you are enabling the actual behavior.
Right. I think it's worse when you're in a relationship, and the relationship means like in a relationship as far as in a relationship as far as a romantic relationship. And again, you know, one's a giver and one's is a receiver. So if one is always giving and one's always receiving, I mean, that definitely gets draining after a while. And then the giving and the loving feeling, it can definitely be replaced by resentment.
Yes.
Okay, lady. Hey, First Lady.
Hey, First Lady. Yes.
She said, "Hey, ladies, being a people pleaser can open the door to make you feel like you're being taken for granted."
Yes, because then that is something I had to be like delivered from, because it's like the more
Are you
and more
delivered from it now?
I don't. It's not so much that I'm worried about men in their faces. Like it depends on the situation.
Okay.
At the same time, like, because I'm not here to please your opinions. Don't pay my bills. You don't. You like, what's your thoughts of me? It's not to say I don't take things I take in consideration. Like I said, depending upon the circumstance.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, so sit here and try to please you. No, them days is over.
Again, I just say users.
Them days is over. Yes, because then people will use you.
That's what sticks in my mind.
And they used to say I had a problem, which I did back then. I used to have a problem in saying no. Like, I would always just say yes, 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 yes. At the meantime, I'm being depleted of my energy. So I'm just being real about it. That's why I say if you get to the point, you realize, okay, look, because everybody expects it of you and expect you to be there, then it's like, where's you need time for yourself. Like, you need time to do the things that you need to do and be in tune with you, so you make sure that you are right. But if you're overly giving to everybody, you lose sight of yourself. So that was the thing. I was overly giving.
No, you become frustrated.
And you do. You get mad. It does. It's like built up frustration.
Exactly. So the thing is like, once it happens the first time, then I think for some people, and such as like myself, I think like when at work or at
Definitely
church
at work.
or something like that. I think it's different for me in a relationship. But in those aspects, as far as that, if I feel that I'm being taken for granted, I try my best not to. I'm not gonna say anything because I will say something, but
we
try
know
my
you'll say
best.
something.
And I will try my level best not to come in a negative way. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm even looking at you like that.
I will try my best not to come in a negative way. I will say I don't appreciate being taken advantage of or taken for granted.
Can I say this?
Because okay, let me finish my thought. And then it's something different. Like if that same person come ask me to do something again, then it definitely has to have boundaries.
Okay.
So what is Kyra saying?
Kyra said you can't pour into everybody's cup and not have
nothing left for yourself.
For your own. The same people you pour into are usually the same ones who won't even pour a drop in you. Hallelujah.
And that's basically when you have to learn. That's when I say you have to learn the boundaries.
I learned that. Amen. Amen.
You only get one chance.
Drew said you only get one chance with me, and that's it. Period. Capital. Period. I will forgive eventually, but never shall I forget.
But they say we're supposed to
Oh my God. So sorry.
But the thing is, even when that's what I'm saying, when you start pouring into like other people and overly giving of yourself, like I said, some people begin to expect it.
Exactly.
And feel that they're entitled to it because they're so used to you giving
it. Yes.
And
exactly.
So when you do say no, then they get upset.
Exactly. Kyra dumb. She said that's why I'm learning because I'm a giver romantically. And then she said, okay, hotline bling.
Hotline bling.
Hotline bling. What are you talking about? The hotline bling.
Right. The hotline bling. One more thing.
Or something. I remember the song, but
okay. So so you tell me the reason. Tell me one.
No, I'm looking at you.
To
Miss Avis. I guess Avis' phone ring all
loud.
Right. Oh yes, it was. It was
a hotline.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm looking at her because I'm looking at her crazy because that's more my sister. I don't understand why you saying all these things like how you a chance and all that. You ain't giving nobody really too much chances. It's like
I do one chance, one time. But I think again, like I said, in the romantic aspect of it, then it's like I feel like I'm
now the situation is different for everyone.
Yes.
There's a difference.
But work, I can't see you doing nothing.
That doesn't happen. I always thought
she do not do. It's it ain't even a once.
I think it's like you even said, "Oh, I got to address it right then and there because it's on my mind. I got to address it right then."
Yeah, she said, "Because I'm not gonna." Yeah,
I don't want to bring it home.
April says, "So why do people get upset when you say no, but when you are doing it, it's okay?" I don't understand that.
Yes, I had to deal with that, and that's why I said having to be delivered from like stuff like that. Like, I just can't. Yes, you are a giver. Yeah, but at the same time, you can enable people being a giver. Mm-hmm. Basically what.
And if they're used to you giving constantly,
they're gonna
expect that and over and over
constantly.
Again.
That's what I said, Kyra.
You get to a point where you just have to stop. Like you have to stop giving. Like you give like it's nothing.
There should be a balance. There should be a cut. Like if it's no reciprocation. And expect in that aspect that you're coming and talking about romantic wise being taken for granted.
Yeah.
What is the point? Because it's draining you emotionally.
It is a draining.
It's depleting. And there's no boundary.
The love will turn into resentment quickly.
And anger and bitterness.
And it's like, no, why?
Y'all touching on me. Ouch. And ouch.
It does. It will turn into resentment.
That automatic sign of a user. If it's not reciprocated, I'm not with it.
Exactly.
And see, I mean, but like if it's been years, then it's totally, you know what I mean? Like you don't realize that. So if they're not willing to do that, then
But what about if they manipulating the situation as well?
they can.
Like
They
some
can
people manipulate to continue to get what they want.
Exactly.
And you have like even on the job, you have people that will manipulate. Oh, I know I can get her to do this, and I can get her to do that if I just do this or if I just do that. Like they know.
So if they know that about you at work,
exactly, then I don't cut it off and I don't address it. It's going to continue to happen.
So that's what.
So therefore, I have to address.
Yeah,
and that's where I've got.
Okay, Mr. Jones said some people don't know the meaning of no. Chris, you got to know how to say no.
People get hurt when you say no.
Right. They
Regardless
do.
How you say no, some people just don't.
They don't do well.
They don't know how to say like.
Because you know what it is?
Is she really saying no to me?
No, at the end of the day, it's a manipulation, controlling situation. And I'm calling it for what it is because that's what it is. Kyra said, okay, now I can't say nothing about manipulation. I'll sit.
Yeah, because you learned that best from your whole side.
Now say like this,
but that's what it is.
But she called it from her dad.
She called
it passed down to
call a spades, an ace, an
well,
ace.
At least
she knows.
I give you
spade. So that's why I say
I'll sit this one out.
That's why I said, and that brings me to what Kyra said. If some people is like to get what you want and you're a user, that's is basically what it is. But in the inside, because I'm a loving person, I'm a giving person, and I feel like this to give is, just much is required. Like if you giving,
much is given, much
which
is
is
required.
Yes. That's how I feel. That's my thing.
Right.
Much is given, much is required.
Right.
Like, do unto others as you want them done to you.
But that falls. But everything falls in expectation because then now we're treading the line of expecting something because that's what we expect
true.
To do.
That's
so
true.
then you have
our
to look
expectations
at that
is
as well.
high.
Like that's why I said it's not saying that you can't have those expectations in place. But then sometimes just because what we do, we feel that person should do it.
Kyra dumb. She said, "Yeah, I'm a pro at manipulation, but only use it when it's necessary."
And we all do it a little bit from time if it's a healthy. Like
manipulation is not healthy
at all.
It should, but I'm saying to
tell you the truth, that's like a Jezebel spirit and. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I learned it from my former pastor, God rest her soul. Yes, it's a form of that Jezebel spirit.
They will get over it.
Not
everybody.
Kyra said I used to work all the time. Yes, it's for the person who's doing it. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I felt like this because they stepping on my toes and I'm still learning because First Lady can tell you I went several times to my sisters, to First Lady. I can't go to my mom because my mom is totally different. Like she's more hype, but it's like, where is the love? Like I'm giving and I'm pouring and I'm pouring and I'm like, and it's not just to see or feel validation. It's like, okay, do you know that I'm doing this not just because I'm a God person or a God-fearing person, but it's just like, can you give me that same kind of respect back? Like, seriously, you should be if you know that I'm down, I don't have anything, won't you just like, well, Zay, I got you. I got you. I'm here. I'll give you a ride or I'll give you some change. It shouldn't all about be take. Because I don't like
you can't even place your expectations onto him because that's what you do and choose to do. So you're pouring into
something back.
Exactly. You're doing it with conditions.
No.
Yes.
When I do stuff, I'm not looking for an alternative motive. That's not.
Wait a minute, because
it's like, what is the reason you're doing it for? Or
one
you
example
doing it to expect something
like your birthday. Because this is like every year with you.
But last year, can I say this? I will say this. He literally did something that I wanted. that I loved. He did something. It was for me. It was about me. And I was like, and I wasn't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I said something to the kids. His kids weren't a been their family. And I was like, he ain't doing nothing for me. He ain't trying to do nothing for me. He ain't gonna do this and this. I was just being negative.
Yeah.
I was being negative. And then he literally shocked, excuse the French, the shit out of me.
Okay.
Because I'm sorry. It was like,
I guess now it's gonna be my turn. One said E, the other one said S.
no, but I'm saying it really shocked me because he's like, I'm gonna make her eat her words. But
I'm glad he did though.
He did.
You gonna stop sleeping
y'all
on
should do
Superman.
call-ins and have virtual special guests.
You're not the only one to say that.
We're definitely gonna have it because we're waiting for like the
Tyra
restrictions.
said, but what are you pouring into you?
Oh, okay.
Not everyone has a heart though. Right.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's why
when you put expectations on people, because everybody's not going to think the way you think or do the things that you do or have the heart that you have.
Exactly.
So whatever I do genuinely. And I think some people have a problem because most people feel that they're doing it for ulterior motives.
The people who are receiving it, that's what they believe. They believe that you're doing it for ulterior motives.
And I'm not.
They think either doing it because you're trying to cover something up.
No.
Or you're doing it because you did it for someone else. And
no.
You're trying to, you know what I mean, for guilt purposes.
No.
Like,
but sometimes you're doing it. When I do it, it's just because.
They feel that you're doing it because, or you should be doing more.
But then that's when you do get frustrated and feel like you're
exactly. So it's like,
what's the point of doing it?
What exactly?
If you want to keep questioning
exactly.
But then, like I said, you look at the receiver, then that means because they're so used. But when you stop it, then they want to look sour.
Well, okay, I'm gonna put mommy. I'm gonna put you all on blast because you're a giver. And I'm gonna put her situation out there.
But see, sometimes, okay, go ahead, Mom, because I'm curious because you know I'm gonna have to call a spade too.
I'm gonna put it me?
No, Mom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mom, I will say this, like
very
you don't she's very compassionate. But you do not always have to say, and I'm saying in a romantic level for her and her husband. Like you don't always have to announce what you do.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Make it known.
No, with her, because we all know her, we love her. Kyra, you set yourself up for disappointment, expecting a person to reach an expectation that they clearly incapable of reaching.
Mm-hmm. You setting yourself up for failure. Exactly, disappointment.
I agree. Okay, with that being said, with my mom, she's a giver.
Mm-hmm.
And she don't like receiving all the time. It bothers her.
Yeah,
but this is the thing. When you have a husband for some 18 years, and see, you can't compare the first husband to this husband now.
At all. It's night and day.
So, what you started doing, you're going to have to keep on doing. You enabled.
Because you're enabling.
You enabled.
If you need to complaining about it.
Yes.
Only for you to turn back around. Hey, everyone coming in. Yeah.
So I'm putting her out there.
Keep doing it.
That's what I'm saying because
she's
quick to say. She'll give to him, but then she gets mad because things is not going her way.
Exactly,
and she gets mad.
Kyra said she about to come beat us up.
I'm gonna beat your tail. Why? I mean, my mama get on here and tell the truth.
She's saying mama gonna come beat us.
She ain't gonna beat us. We telling her the truth.
But we told her this before.
It's her truth. This
like
we're trying to tell you.
I'm sure she hasn't chimed in yet, but
because she can't chime in because it's the truth. It's the truth. And then she'll be like, I ain't dealt with him in a week. Or I ain't dealt with him in 2 weeks.
She's being taken for granted. But you're the one that's doing it.
Bingo. We keep telling her. So now we to the point where, because we're grown, we have our own relationships. I'm in my mind. So it's like, all right, Ma, I'm gonna learn how to. But then she gets mad and frustrated. But Mom, like,
and I think she prides herself on her giving. But then even though if you doing
and then I'm like, Mom,
like, okay, now then with my friend, like some people pride themselves in giving because they feel That's what they're here to do, is to provide, is to give of themselves. Because everybody gives in different fashions. Everybody gives.
She said I'm here. She can't say nothing.
Everybody gives in different ways, different things. Like I said, each circumstance is different, each dynamic, situations, there are different contributing factors, but you got to look at it. Some people do pride themselves on that. So when they're not in a position to give, then what? You take that away from them. Then I bet you they're a whole loss. Mm-hmm. So it's like saying, how can I be a fixer? How can I be a fixer? How can I be? I'm being a giver, but I'm not willing to receive when it's my time to receive.
And that's why I have a problem with my mom. Okay, she's the same way. She's that way.
What?
She has a problem of giving. I mean, receiving.
Who does?
Mom has a problem of receiving. She feels like, no, I'm the giver. That's what my calling is. She does. Like we done said several times, she'll give a wig, anything, bracelet, right off her back. Money, she don't care, make a difference. And she'll say, "Shut up." That's what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm like,
but then sometimes you didn't. And then I'm like, complain, dude. Yeah. Like, then what are you doing it for? That's the part I'm not understanding.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Bishop. Hey, Troy.
Hey, son.
I have something in the works, and I'm going to be sending you something. Oh, she's talking to mom and him. But yes, so sometimes, like I said, you got to have some type of healthy boundaries in place as far as what you're giving.
Because my mom,
emotions, financially, spiritually, like people, you can give and give of yourself, even in the spirit, in the church and stuff, in ministry. And people get so, I had to get there. Like, give of yourself because they expect it. Mm-hmm. And then soon you do say no. Mm-hmm. There's a whole attitude. Well, they normally say yes. They normally do this. They normally do that.
But see, then that's taken for granted.
Exactly. Another
taken for granted.
See, now mommy told her about that.
Now I say, now I got that.
Mom didn't learn that until she was like in her 50s.
I learned. Yes, mother dear, you're responsible for that one.
Yeah, but she stopped it. She got after certain. She was like, "Ain't he gonna find out? Mm-hmm. Ain't he gonna find out?" I'm tired of it. It's just like. But the only thing I want to my mom to understand why she's here,
but
is to tell her that she's, that she's a lovable spiritual woman of God that is willing. She needs to be received, poured into as well. She don't need to be always giving.
Exactly.
She don't. She always giving.
But I'm saying again, it goes back to what I said about people priding themselves on being givers. Take that away from them. Because
she don't have nothing else. That's
what else you think?
She don't have nothing else.
Because she like giving. And by the way, mom,
does other things besides.
Patio set look nice.
But I'm talking about where she prides herself is in the giving.
Oh, okay. She does.
But then even when she prides herself on it, sometimes the only part that I said, then it can cross over because then you start complaining like, "Oh, well, I done this and I did that."
You should.
So then you doing it. Then it seems like you're doing it.
She does do that too.
You should never do that. If you're gonna give with your heart. Don't be giving grudgingly. You know what I mean? And then give to talk about you giving.
Yeah.
It should never be about that.
Carver said that's where self-care come in too, though.
Self-love, self-preservation.
You can't take care of everybody if you don't take care of
charity
yourself
begins at
first.
home.
Exactly. But sometimes some people, I mean, that's their self-care. They believe in giving all that they have to someone else, and that's their joy. You know what I mean? So for their self-care, or their self-preservation, that's what they love to do. However, it gets to a point where it's still will feel like you're being taken advantage of because the person, you know what I mean, you don't get a thank you. You don't get a something in return sometimes. It's not every time, but something you don't get in return every time. So, of course, you're going to feel that way, especially in the church. Now, in the romantic aspect, I mean, yeah, that's what you're expecting, but then if it's not returned and you constantly giving and giving, it's like giving into a bottomless cup.
A cup that's
it
never ends.
It's never ending.
So what about when you're taking? Okay, let's go to here because I know this is about the poor
Kyra
people.
said, and some people feed off of knowing people need them.
Exactly, like they feel like it's benefiting. Like some people do.
Yeah,
some people because.
I mean, Yeah.
Because they want to have the need to want to fix the situation. They want to need to try to control the situation or say, and it enables that person because then they know that you're going to continue to go through that cycle with them.
Yep.
Okay.
That is true.
Let me be right sensitive. True. We about to be sensitive with this part.
Okay.
What about taking for granted when it comes to parents, a mother and a father?
What do you mean?
Like, far as them feeling like they're being taken for granted when it comes to, I guess, the children take things for granted.
How to do?
I don't know.
My kids are up here.
I can't really say
because
that.
It can be a power trip.
I mean,
no, exactly. I don't have no power trips with neither one of my sons. Absolutely.
No, I'm saying what Kyra's saying. It can be a power trip.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I do
especially single parents. Like, what about the ones where the parents are not in a home together? One parent is going to feel like they're more taken for granted.
Okay. So this is a touchy subject because Kyra's also saying, well, what about parents taking us for granted? And then Andrew said, the other way around, Auntie. LOL. I don't take nobody for granted. No.
Panhandler, nothing.
I love my kids.
I'm just saying. That word means way.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said, be careful, y'all kids is on here.
I know they on here, and they gonna be like, yeah, because they gonna get me. But
payday's coming up.
Well, as I done chimed in,
I stepped away from a bit. What is going on?
Where I got into it being sensitive when it comes to
I'm not lying.
And vice versa when the children.
I do feel like sometimes I do get taken for
show
granted.
Appreciation for anything that they do,
and then they feel the same way.
I appreciate my sons.
Is she lying?
I appreciate both of my sons. I appreciate it.
I'm not lying.
I do, and I know my sons appreciate me.
I mean, my daughter makes it known. My oldest daughter makes it known. Like, she's the mouthpiece of all three. So, well, my kids is up on here.
That is me at times, Miss Jones. That is what you at times. But I'm saying, like, when you like
my daughter, let me know. Like, but see, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, my kids, my girls definitely have my back, and I will have their back, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, but like y'all gotta.
Yeah, y'all be going at it
before like anything
gets resolved. I'm sorry to say, but that's the way it goes.
Yes,
because that's what I said.
Y'all gotta do before anything happens.
Yeah, most of the time that's how we are. But at the end of the day, we love each other, and that's how we love each other. Now, I'm not going to tell y'all that we argue every day because we don't. We don't argue every day.
Thank God.
And just said, "Mom better appreciate me."
Though too, because some kids feel entitled. What do you some people feel entitled to it.
I'm not even worried about what Andy said. I know
Mom better appreciate me.
I know for a fact
the nursing home is just the phone call.
I know for a fact I'm not gonna go.
But the thing is, you gotta let them know that you appreciate. Like I always tell my kids, like if you show that appreciation,
like nothing ever happened.
Exactly. That's exactly what they do. Like that's exactly what they do. But as far as there are some parents. There are some parents in children's relationships that one could be, taking advantage of the other, and I think that that's not right.
Well, can I say this? And my mom is up here. We used to be like that.
What?
See, Raya said we understand each other. LOL. Is she saying that? Are you saying that to Alexis? She's saying that to Alexis. Anyway, my mom, and see, I try not to do it to my kids. I try not to.
Oh, yeah. Mom used to do that when we were younger. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And see, that's how I felt like. And see, none of us try, but I think I'm the closest one that will do it. They won't do it at all. I will try, but I'm not going to take your whole check. I will let you know.
I'm not going to take that check, period.
Yeah, she don't want to take nothing from her kids. Now, I'm totally different. I'm kind of like my mom, but some ways.
I don't take nothing from
Why?
Yeah.
They work for that.
Why? Hey, Sonya.
Hey, Ladybug.
Hey.
Hey, my beautiful sister. Hey, Ladybugs. It's okay. Honey, we just chime right on
it's
in.
just the whole point. Like, I try not to take, because I didn't like when mom took out checks. Like, my mom, and we barely seen $20 of it. Like,
my mom and dad do.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it was set it up.
Because I remember this one specific time. This one occasion. It was for what you call it? In April. What's it called?
In April.
Easter. Oh. It was Easter. Oh my God. And it was around the time that my niece was born. My first niece. Azariah. Oh God. I was working. Oh my God. I will never forget it. Like, my mom was like, took my whole entire check to pay.
She had some ill wounds and stuff.
Take my whole entire check.
That's how mom was.
I was pissed.
So now
no, let me finish the story. Let me get this out. This is therapy for me. Oh my God. Like, we was up in Macy's and all these places to give her a Easter dress. I know, like, this child is this baby. It's not even one. What are you taking my check? It's barely wasn't even down $100 check. But you want to take my whole entire check? I was like, this is not fair. And then she gonna act like she was gonna threaten to slap me because I said
she did that. She did.
It's not fair. It's my money. I work for woman. But got me a dress. McCory's or somewhere. It looked like throw up.
Oh my God.
I was hot. I was hot.
AJ, we got any first grade. I don't know what it was.
It was the first grade.
She was the first grade.
And
I
didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing
for.
I did not care nothing for her. That's why.
And you know what it is today?
Oh, that's why.
You know what it is today? She'll
now you
say,
know why, sweetie. Now you know why, Ryan.
Then she'll say, what did I do to her? I ain't do
It's all because of your mama and your grandmother.
She said, that's why I'm the spoiled one. Yeah, you're spoiled because being that first.
She said, that's why they said, that's
but that goes back to what I was saying about mom being a giver, though. Like, she's going to...
Took my check. Took my check and got a pair of chicks. Shoes.
Oh, God.
Chick shoes that make me worry. Oh, my God. Oh, just go ahead.
My water.
Oh, yeah. See, and I'm not going to do that to my kids.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to do that to my kids.
And I definitely didn't do it to
oh, my God. And mom said, I will do it again.
You won't take none of my money. No, you won't. The devil is a lie. You take the money I give you and get hot in here. You won't take none of the money of mine.
But people,
but see, that's how my mom, I felt like, took advantage of us with our money.
Yes, she did. And food too. I don't know. Oh my God.
Now, see, my daughter, to the point now that she's grown.
People's food.
She's grown. She'll say, look, boundaries. I got to take care of my household. Now, she'll say,
you have to set that
she
in place.
will say that now to my mom. She'll get on my mom at a heartbeat. Say, look, I will give you what I can give you, but let me take care of my household first.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
What it should have been.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I can't argue with that. And I was like, that's why I tell my mom, I said, see, mom, and I'm not saying mom, because she gives her the world, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
She just gave her something today, which is nice, mom. It looked nice. But I'm saying it's just
because
to the point.
I'm saying, she prides herself in that giving. Mm-hmm. She listens carefully to what people say they're in need of, and she's
she'll
very
go get it.
But then sometimes when you overly do that, people expect you to give.
Exactly.
And then when you don't, or not in a position to give,
and then talk about
then here comes the attitude. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that you have to realize. Like, those expectations, that entitlement. Like, just because I do this, don't mean, and then that's when you can also find yourself being an enabler, because people are dependent upon you to do that very thing. Mm-hmm. And then you say no or don't.
She is.
Then people get upset and mad.
Raya said, "Hello." LOL. I do appreciate what she does, though. And then,
did you know you did? You said
listen,
she brought us into this world. She can take us out.
that was her favorite saying, actually.
Yeah. Oh,
That
they
was
ain't
her
taking
saying.
us nowhere.
That was her saying.
God,
And I actually said it to one of my kids, or maybe all three of my kids, but maybe two of the kids of my three, that I was like, yeah, I brought you and I could take you
I never
out.
had to say that. Now I've said the other cliche. This hurt me. This hurts me more than it hurts you.
I've said that. I've said if you jump over the bridge, I done said that. With your friend, I done did all that. I'm old school.
But I think everybody in some aspect, some form of fashion, gets taken for granted at times. But it's up to.
But my mom, she took us for granted for our money. Went back because she felt like, okay, our dad was sick, which he was, and she was the main provider, even though dad was getting the checks. But she was like the main, I'm working in the household. And it was like roles were flipped because dad was more of the domestic, where mom wasn't. She was provider. So
no, daddy was still the provider.
Yeah, but I'm saying she didn't have the word
limitation on what he could provide.
Oh no, because we got nice stuff.
We did
because they're with it together combined.
So now that's why I try not. Well, they don't do it, period. I'm going to do it because they're my children. And I feel like this. I'm helping you. You can help your mother when she needs the help. When I need it.
But that's all the time, though, sis.
That's not all that's not taken for granted. How's that taken for granted?
All the time?
I don't do it all the time.
Exactly. You have no problem asking.
I'm none.
And I know the Lord said ask and it shall be given, but Jesus.
Oh my God,
my Lord! And she said, "And I'll take your check. Stop playing."
This conversation is not for you and I. Because mom knows that if I have money and I have money, she
will give it. She will give it to her.
That's no problem. So I'm not gonna sit here and talk any type of noise.
Don't feed into that.
I'm not. I'm gonna let you have that, boo boo.
Let you be great.
I'm not even gonna.
Because she gonna be like, y'all gotta put me on blast like that. Yeah.
She knows if she needs something, I got it. She got it. That's period.
And it's vice versa. And she she'll say it now. Like, you'll come to me and be like, Mom, you got such and such, and she'll give it at the drop of a dime. She will do it. So I'm like, okay, but like I have to learn, because where my children, especially my oldest, is teaching me, like, you got to take care of household first. Your own home. So, because my mom is quick to tell me, and I'm like 46, and she is, and I don't have a problem telling my age, but I'm just saying my mom still sometimes feel like I'm that little kid, and I'm not that little kid, and I have to let her know, like, Mom, Avis will get her lash. Okay.
So you want I will.
But I'm just saying, I don't want her to feel like when I know I have to. So
do you take for granted when mom does the things that she did for you, like on the bus? I did. Stuff like that.
I did. It's out. It did. I did. Just like I did it today.
As soon as she says, no, don't have it. Then she feels bad because then she calling people up to see if she can.
Hey Trey, one of the Sandbox sisters has taken me for granted.
Who taking you for granted? No, I didn't.
Put her on blast.
I just told you last week.
Put her on blast.
Oh my God.
Yes, do that.
I did not.
Well, I'm just saying, like today, I knew, because I feel like this. Today, because most of the time, I know my mom would feed me. And she's not gonna let me go hungry. She's not gonna let nobody.
No, you want to say something and tell you get mad.
That's
so you today
take it for granted. No, then what?
But she didn't. I didn't get anything. I didn't. Mom, did I get anything? I didn't get nothing. I went in the refrigerator.
How many times yes versus no that this happened?
Yes.
Let's put it more specific.
You got to know that you did.
It was more yes than no.
But today I went in. It's the truth. But today I went in.
Today again. Yes versus no. More yes than no.
Look,
you can't say it.
really, Mom? No. I didn't do nothing today. I really didn't do nothing because she was like, Zay, I'm good, go. And then I'm like, because I know my mom will feed me. So yeah, I guess that is taking advantage.
You guess?
I know.
That's a yes.
I said I know.
It's not a guess.
Yeah.
Because then you start expecting it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get jealous, like she get fed all the time. Like,
All the
I
time.
was working with her. Like
They don't.
But
But
again,
again, I work
just-
with my
you
people. They don't
expect
give me my supervisors, and them don't give me no daggone breakfast.
And if you're doing it, it's like because you are choosing to do that.
Exactly.
But what about when it comes to monetary things?
really though,
as far as
Mom.
friendship
Now
and
you want to
stuff?
say amen?
What about when it comes to friendships and money? Because that's another thing. Look at that aspect of it.
I can't believe, Mother.
I think it's especially.
think on that?
I think for some people, I mean, for friendships and being taken for granted, I think money can be an issue. One of the main issues.
It causes a lot of breakup in a lot of friendships.
Mhm.
Like it causes, I feel like, a divide. And not even only that,
Yeah.
the emotional part of it. Like if you're there for, friends, and then yet they don't give that same time or energy that you give them. You know what I mean? Then that's another thing. Like it's just being taken for granted.
Alexis, you're not right. She said, all right, amen.
So what about, oh Lord Jesus. So that's another aspect of being taken for granted and then some people are just like, fade off, fade away and all that. And there's Trey trying to say, take it for granted. I ain't taking you for granted. I still talk to you. But I'm just saying, like, everybody know I'm a private person anyway. But, but I touch bases with you.
Terrell's up here. He said, hey, sisters,
Hey,
being taken advantage of is unfortunate, but can be a lesson as well. It can show you your true value.
True.
For that person.
For that,
from
true.
that person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I love my
Definitely.
mama. I mean,
I'm saying not just necessarily for that because you got to live with your mother. You know what I mean? You have to hold.
Hey,
sis.
hey. But then Angie said I had to throw away a 12-year relationship with a friend for being taken granted.
I'm not even. I hope we ain't talking about the same thing. I'm talking about. Thinking about that you're talking about. But that's the thing because they are expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then what do you do or put yourself in a position? Hey Annie, no, it's like you know what? Let's not start it.
Go ahead, Wolf. Go ahead.
You need to stay away from the gas stations. How about that? I told him it's either Wawa's or Rural Farms. He's somewhere always at his gas station.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, moving forward. They are nice like this. Raindrops will fall. Or either it's falling today, it's falling snow.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing is that's why you got to be careful and mindful of how you deal with people. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going to look at ulterior motives. So it's like both sides of the fence. You have to understand just what you put in. That's why I said it's always got to be about reciprocation and make sure that you're not doing anything to take advantage of anybody, that you got to come from a genuine, because some people can't receive that you're coming from a genuine spot.
Yeah, because they're not used to it.
Okay, Trey says some don't take people for granted. They are just flat out
Self. Now
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Touch and
All
agree.
about self-gain, what it
You
does
get a
for
church
them.
finger from
And
me.
amen and a hallelujah.
Yes.
So
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
ha ha ha. I'm just saying. Yeah.
It's unfortunate though, but people do experience that.
Because they don't know no other way to be though.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just naturally, I'm sorry to say, some are quite selfish. They're not mindful. Some do intentionally, some are intentionally. Some unintentionally. Subconsciously and unconsciously. I mean, I don't know.
That. They're aware of that.
Hey, Dante.
Hey, Dante.
Hey, cuz.
I need my part.
Okay, reset. I draw the line. If every time you turn around and they ask and never give back, then you know they're using you. But the way my mouth set up,
We already know that.
they know not to try it with
Exactly.
me now. I don't have friends, few that I can call. They can call me with no problems.
But okay.
He said I got
I'll take the ride. But But
Trey said when they know you have more than
when they know you have the more than take.
Oh,
yes. Like the more that you put yourself out there saying, okay, you know, if they look at your financial means or it's not even got to be financial. It can be emotional. Let's go beyond all of that. It can even be emotional.
Let's talk the emotional because some
people can take advantage, but it's just not even in the financial aspect. And like I said, it's also spiritual. It works in all different aspects. Different circumstances cause for different situations, different contributing factors. But the thing is, it can be done emotionally, but it is depleting.
It is.
If a person know, I'm gonna sit here and continue to say, oh, I can go to her and keep laying on her shoulder and keep telling her and spewing her and telling my stories. Well, when I need that shoulder, where are you at?
Nowhere.
How? Like you was talking about, pouring into other people's stuff.
No support. Can't get nothing. It's all about that person.
Now that is being selfish.
And you're definitely taking that person, your friend, for granted.
And then even in the financial means of what you're talking about, Trey, that like they see just because you have it to give, then quite naturally you should give it because you have it to give. That's not true. They can have a lot of money in the world. Doesn't mean they need something in return. That doesn't mean that they need love. That's like say for instance the doctors or whatever the case may have you. Just because they might in our minds think that because they doctors they make money that they don't need nothing in their life. Like they don't need some type of reciprocation or times that you might want to treat them to lunch and stuff like that.
Okay, Tara asked a good question. Let me ask y'all this: have y'all guys ever been able to recognize at the time when you were being taken advantage of, or did you always realize after the damage was done?
Okay, let me say,
I have my own.
I know for a fact that the person that I felt that was taking advantage of me, I felt like this, that my love, this is like in a romantic relationship, that my love will hopefully overshadow a lot of these things that's going on.
But you can't convince them. You can't fix some. You can't. You can't.
The thing is that, I mean, you don't want to turn your love into resentment, but eventually it gets to that point that like they're taking your love for granted. They're taking you for granted. And that you just have got to stop.
And the other thing you have to realize is that, yes, sometimes we know for a fact. That's like I said, when it went back to where I said about my mom being prided on being a provider. Sometimes she knows she's getting the okie doke pulled on her and she still will do it. And so sometimes that's why I said she does have a genuine heart, but it's because we give.
That's how we are.
And I know
genuinely that's how we are.
It puts us in position. We know you're being taken advantage of.
We know that we are.
You know for a fact you're being taken advantage of.
We know that we are.
However you're
we
doing
do it anyway. Because you know what though? At the end of the day, that person they're going to feel the full effect of all of that.
And so that's why
that person is going to feel the full effect of all of that.
And you reap what you sow.
Exactly.
Whatever it is that
say that again.
You reap what you sow.
That's the key.
And the thing is, you never succeed.
What you sow.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't like people who take advantage of certain people for their own beneficial gains or looking. That's why I said, and I think it's like I said, because most people do look at it from a aspect of, well, what do they want? What are they doing it for? But if you just, God loves a cheerful forgiver. If you're doing it cheerfully, you're doing it for the right reasons. God's going to bless you. That which you do in secret, God will reward you openly. So therefore, that's why I don't never sit out there and put and blast what I do for as giving, because I know my reward is going to come to me by just doing what I do in secret. I don't have to blast what I do.
Some people do. Some people feel that they have to say what they give. I don't understand why they do that, because
it's to each his own. That's their own right. That's on them.
No, because if they know the word,
blessed.
If you know the word, that's what it says not to do. Period. Honestly, so that's not throwing shade. That's facts.
Biblical.
Go ahead.
Actually, but hey.
Okay, he giving less questions. Okay, come on, bro. One more question. Have you ever taken advantage of a situation or a person, maybe unconsciously? Well, they just got on me about my mom. That's one person I could say.
Oh
Have
my
you?
God.
I just did
Have
that.
I? Can I say have I?
I
Oh
can
my
That's
say,
a hard one.
but see, I know my mom is a giver, and I don't mean it to do it like, but I know my mom is gonna take care of me and feed me as her child. Is it wrong? Yes, it's wrong because I'm a grown child. I'm a full-blown grown child, and I have my own house, my own bills, and at the end of the day, I could go, which I did, and go and do my own thing, get my own food.
But I don't
Trey
know.
said, "How would you handle it if your spouse is being taken advantage of?"
Oh,
If my spouse
spouse
was
is being so in other words, if you see that your spouse is being
I would
taken advantage
definitely.
of,
Oh no,
no, you would step in.
I would
Well,
definitely step in.
Well,
Period. Point blank. Like
My mouth.
definitely.
Now, see, she's not the way we are, and my
Annie's
husband.
not, no.
My husband and I've done be like,
I will address it, but I ain't getting mouthy right then. They get mouthy.
I'm very
mouthy.
mouthy.
No, y'all get mouthy.
I'm
Y'all get
I'm gonna say it in a professional way. As professional as I can get at
Ah,
the time.
because it's some things that my husband came to me about the job and stuff like that, and I told him how you should go about doing stuff. He was like, no, because one time it happened, and I got fired long time before. I said, okay. Then I got to the point where I'm like, look, the best thing you could do is leave them alone. If you know they are this way, then leave them alone. Because I'm like, I don't want to hear it because of the fact, like, if it take me, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to call your card. Like I said, I'm going back. I'm calling spade a spade. Ace, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call you out. And see, I'm different from my husband. I have mouth. Just like he had a shirt called Black Lives Matter. I'm going to wear it. You can't make me stop wearing the Black Lives Matter because I matter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting upset because he's one to be like, I'm not saying an Uncle Tom or anything, but he's just like,
what are you saying?
He's more, I'm not saying he's like that. He's more, I don't want to ruffle feathers.
Yes.
That's what he is.
Because in the
totally
man's mind, they gotta provide.
But to say whether or not it took advantage of anybody,
but I can say with my mom, that's the only kind of person.
I can't say because I think it's hard for me to.
My mom is the only one.
I can't say it's hard for me to ask.
I have, honestly,
But
you took advantage of somebody?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be money or anything like that, but it's been times that I have taken guys for granted. Yes, it has. This is back in the day. Yes.
He said, wait, I'm the one asking the questions. That gentleman stole my show. Church is over.
She's talking about Trey.
Don't be like that.
It's room for everybody.
Yes.
But
it's okay.
I mean, it's okay. I can't really say that I take it. I don't like. No, I in my mind. Yeah,
I would never let nobody take advantage.
I didn't want to. I don't
see my husband.
I wouldn't want that being done to me. But I mean,
it's done. Not like it was that I meant to do that because I didn't. That was not my goal to do. I would. Are we talking about the recent incident? We talking about? No. Oh, well. No. I had like just the relationship period. Like took the person for granted. Like they were a very very good person. I think that was one person, right? No. I know it's Harry.
Yeah,
him. Harry.
But then that's the thing. But when you acknowledge it to make the change that's needed,
definitely. Him.
But the thing is, you want to make sure, like. My thing is always coming from
that was a good question though, Trey, because I'm telling you, my husband, he's one, and he already know that we're like opposites. We're totally opposites. He's like, no, I don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get, fired or nothing. And I'm like, I'm going to say what I got to say. And if you don't deal with it, I will deal with it. Like, I'm that type of person because my husband coming home stressing about it and stuff like making my day messed up because he's stressing about what's going on the job. No, I don't want to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't like that. That I don't like. So of course I'm going to say something. Of
You're supposed
course,
to. You're the spouse.
Exactly.
yeah. So
And you're being protective.
Yeah.
And
of
making
course.
sure. But then you have some that feel like they feel the need, like, oh no, they don't get to the point where it's controlling though. Like you controlling situations.
No,
there.
I would never do that.
mean,
but if it's a serious situation
but
that
to
I
reasonably
know,
voice your opinion,
then I got upset.
Because sometimes they just venting. So
Could be.
Exactly.
you gotta look at that.
And that's
And
most
like
of the
I said,
time
it
what he
depends on the
does.
circumstance. They're just looking for the venting part.
Could be.
That's
So
the
don't
most
take-
time what he does.
But the thing is, try not to take anybody
For granted.
in
Exactly.
any aspect, be it on the job. Just be. It's like being cognizant.
I'm gonna put it out here.
mindful to try not to take people for granted. Like show the appreciation because it
Yes.
does go a long way. And I've always stated this in different memes that I post about a kind gesture can go a long way. A smile, just when somebody does something out of the norm for you, show appreciation and say, "I appreciate you."
Yes.
And it's like it goes a
Exactly.
long way. And the thing that way they won't feel taken for granted. And for the ones who do put themselves in positions where you know you're taking advantage of somebody and you're taking them for granted, just expecting them to always give to you,
It's
you
gonna
have
come
to
back.
be conscious
You
of
reap
that.
what you sow.
Because the very time that you or that
Yes.
person says no, not in that position, then what you're going to do? And then maybe start doing things and put yourself in a position to give back so that you'll be able to receive what it is that God has for you and your desires.
So y'all have
So have y'all ever said, teach them a lesson for taking you for granted?
No.
No, I don't do no tick for tack stuff. That's mind games to me. I don't do the tick for tack.
She pointing at
I don't do none of that. Like it shouldn't be about tick for tack. It shouldn't be like again, what you do it genuinely. I mean, you see who's keeping quiet. But we're coming to that time. We're trying to end on our closing.
Let her go.
I want to say this. I have it.
She said I have it and it felt good. Oh Lord, sis.
Touch and agree. Amen. Trey.
You can't say no amen.
Amen. No, I'm
Oh
gonna say
my
this.
God.
Can I say this? I'm gonna tell my mom and my children because they weren't on here. I love and I appreciate my children.
Felt condemned, convicted.
No, I don't feel condemned or convicted. I just
No,
want
you just want
them.
to take the opportunity to share. Okay,
Yeah,
so
give them
we're
flowers
coming
while
over
they
to
live.
smell 'em. Okay.
Juice said,
So,
of course. I don't feel convicted. I just feel that my mom, she's a loving person. And, you know, I know that like I said, I know my mom is going to make sure I won't go hungry.
But definitely, whatever you do, put boundaries in place.
Yes, I want to appreciate my
cognitive.
children. And I also want to put it out there in the atmosphere. I want to appreciate my husband.
Oh, isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
I don't do that much.
No. So when that happens,
I want to appreciate the husband. Yes, because through all the ups and downs.
Why must that be exaggerated?
it was emphasized.
Yeah. I just want to let him know that I do appreciate. I do appreciate the husband. I don't want to take him for granted. I forgive you, Angel. I'm humbling myself.
But that's the thing.
No, I'm being sincere though.
Always take an opportunity
sincere
to show appreciation in some type of way.
I want him to know in case he looks at it and catch it on a book. Be like, yeah, No, I do appreciate my husband for being the provider. He's not gonna let us go without and stuff like that. So I want to appreciate that. My children, they have my back. Most definitely, they have me. My kids got me all the way. They ride or die. My mom,
people got her.
yes, it's a lot. Jesus got me too. Yes, the man upstairs got me.
But yes, whatever you do, always take the time out just to show appreciation.
But you gotta say you appreciate. I appreciate everybody. I
appreciate the ones who have helped me, and I am truly grateful and thankful. Those who know who I'm talking about, you know who you are. Like I said, it doesn't always need. What is this? What's that saying? what's understood doesn't need to be explained. So the thing is,
really,
yeah, if that person, whatever that dynamic in regards, if you give that appreciation or show that appreciation in some type of form, I feel you.
But
would be
in that,
always.
Can I just say this one thing though? Word forgiveness.
Forgiveness is a hard thing, but I can do forgiveness
because you don't want to reap what you sow. If you want to reap what you sow, you want to reap bountifully. You understand what I'm saying? Reap bountifully. Okay, Mom, your turn. He's saying be quiet.
Because we get roll out. We're wrapping it up.
He said, okay, Mom, your turn.
And thoughts. Your closing statements in regards to taking for granted.
Taking for granted. I definitely appreciate my babies.
Trey, I'm gonna hurt you. Go ahead. I forgive you.
You just not seeing it.
I knew he was talking about you. I definitely appreciate my babies.
He said Ada's need her own meme. She does.
Huh?
Ada's needs her own meme. She do. She's like a whole Tamar Braxton does.
No, yes. I'm not. No. Yes. The devil is a liar.
You see, she just did it.
I don't look like
her. And going to
nothing like her. Nothing like her.
I ain't say look. We talking about the way you
I don't act like her either. I would probably be done for that.
Closing statement so we can wrap it out and say
you interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
Did you say you would slap her?
I would slap her. I would have slapped her, Mom. She's just how she come out her mouth with some things. That's a sidebar. Either way, I appreciate. We digress. I appreciate my babies. I appreciate my son, and Drew. I love you guys. I appreciate my sisters. I appreciate my mother. Don't do Mom like that. Exactly. What he said?
So extra.
He said,
yeah, it is extra. I'm not extra.
Definitely extra times.
Yes.
At times. She is a little extra. But needless here to say, that's the closing thoughts.
No, don't rush me. I got a lot of people to debate.
Extra. That was
here we go.
Okay. Who else? Anybody that's out there and that has done a lot for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much.
Yes. So we thank y'all for joining us on this segment of the topic taken for granted.
Oh my God.
We will see y'all guys.
Mom is just blunt, mean, and real.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I accept that. I accept that.
We ask that y'all again, because we know that sometimes people go back and they actually view the segment. So please keep in mind, Sisters in the Sandbox as well on the YouTube channel.
Subscribe,
share.
Look for the ding.
Yes, notification. On the notification bell. But we'll see you next week, and our segment is going to be talking about social media and its effects on us as a society. Yes. Catch you next week. Have a blessed night.
Yes. Good night.